With all the new technology and the abundance of information on the web, you would think that buying or selling or understanding the real estate market would be easier than ever. But ask yourself one question. Now that you've done your homework and you think you know what's going on, what do you do next? With all the new technology. Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that little glitch right there. Oh my goodness, I just realized I didn't change my shirt before coming on today. I'm sitting here for 10 minutes waiting to come on and it didn't even occur to me. Please forgive me. I should have a more formal shirt on right now. But I'm going to go ahead and get started anyway. Welcome. Hi, everyone. We do this blog every Tuesday at 10 a.m. We talk about the things that you don't normally are able to research on the web, some inside tips, our experiences in real estate, respective of your need to find out what the kind of tools that you need to have a successful transaction. And what we like to do on this broadcast is sort of summarize or help or aid in any way that we can to help the process by which you're getting involved in real estate and educate you the most to that extent. We are Facebook Live, and so if you happen to be catching us right now, please take the time to ask any questions. I'll be able to see your questions right here on the screen. Happy to answer them with regard to any subject in real estate whatsoever. And although we have a theme, and I do have a subject matter today I want to cover, please feel free to answer any questions that you would like to. Just to introduce myself, my name is Stewart Fournier. I'm an 18-year veteran of the real estate market, specifically in the Los Angeles area, and more specifically in the South Bay Beach areas of Manhattan, Hermosa, Redondo. But my wife and I, Randy, who is also a veteran of over 18 years, we practice together as a team, and with obviously a combined experiential background of well over 35 years in the same area. And we actually cover most of Los Angeles. We cover from Mulholland basically all the way down to Orange County. And we've been involved in almost every aspect of real estate as it pertains to residential. We've done short sales, we've done brand new bills, we've done obviously regular representation. We've worked with buyers, we work with sellers obviously, and we've done short sales, we've done 1031 exchanges, we've been involved in commercial real estate for our clients that have commercial real estate. That's not the crux of what we do. However, we do have experience there as well. So we bring to the table a lot of experience, a lot of perspective, and that's what this blog's about. It's pretty much off the cuff in terms of me coming up with different examples on the particular subject that I'm talking about. As for example, today we're going to talk about real estate cycles. I know that sounds pretty boring, but I'm going to make it as exciting as possible in just a few minutes. Again, this blog is only about 10 to 15 minutes. We like to keep it short and sweet. And also, I'd like to encourage you, if you have any particular subject matters that you'd like me to discuss on this blog, happy to do so. And in addition, please, if you have a complaint or you have a situation that just didn't make sense to you and you want me to tear it apart and maybe give you some perspective on it, or if you're currently involved in something where you need some advice, we're happy to talk about that on the air. So that's enough about us, so enough about me. Let's go ahead and get started and talk about real estate cycles. Now, one of the reasons I was prompted to talk about that today is that last week I watched a TV news segment that had to do with the market, and it really kind of burns me sometimes when I see a reporter take a particular subject and then sort of prove it after the fact. That sounds a little complicated, right? What I meant by that is that misleading the public about real estate is a very, very easy thing to do because it's easy to talk in generalities. And in generalities, there's a lack of true effective communication to you, the buyer or the seller, respective of your location. And so I wanted to give some perspective and give you a better sense of how you can sort of alleviate the pressure of seeing headlines or watching news reports that generalize so much and really have no practical application to what it is you may be trying to accomplish. And I thought I'd do that today by talking about real estate cycles in general, cycles that actually affect all neighborhoods, so you can get a better sense of how this may not be, some of the headlines that you're looking at may not really apply to you. So let me get started a little bit. The number one thing that I think most people suffer from today is this deluge of HD TV and flipping houses and all the drama connected to it, which is really what they're selling. They're not selling too much about they're educating you about real estate. Yes, they are scripted, for those of you that don't know. But one of the things that they do is they give you a sense that real estate is a quick investment. You can make money, you can get out, make tons of money, or you may not. You may be the person that doesn't know how to do a flip, and you invest maybe not so securely, and then you end up losing money. Outside of the fact that none of this is something that you may or the general public does, it gives you a sense that real estate moves very quickly, prices change real quickly, valuations go up real quickly, they go down real quickly, and that's just not the case. The number one thing that I've told all my clients over the last 18 years is the biggest thing you can do to keep yourself from feeling a lot of stress about the price or about your investment is to realize that real estate is a long-term investment. Most of the TV broadcasting you see today and the appeal from show business more than reality is the fact that everything's changing so quickly, and that's just not the case with real estate. It takes months, if not years, for there to be significant changes other than when there is a significant change for a specific area. Now, what I mean by that is very rarely, and we saw this in the economic catastrophe of the late of 2007 to approximately 2010 in our area, and what we discovered was, regionally, if there is an incredible job loss in the area, then there is a dramatic decrease in property values, that is, housing values. Other than that, there's very rarely a turnaround and loss of value in a very short period of time. And so let me leave you with that thought, respective of what I'm talking about right now. Let me make some clarification. Stop looking at real estate as a short-term investment or a commodity. It is simply not that. Real estate is a long-term investment wherein during your lifetime there will be ups and downs, but for the most part we've established for decades that it is an important investment for you to be involved in that will always go up eventually. And I say eventually, I don't mean here and there. I mean significantly. We've seen, for example, real estate prices in the area that I live in raise well over 1,500 to 2,000%, and possibly even more in the last 35 to 40 years. And so when you look at the ups and downs, they don't really matter if you've held on to your house for that period of time. It is simply an up situation, and unless you have to sell, and that's another subject, in a down market, chances are that you probably have a little bit of equity anyway. So the one thing I'd like to stress is please don't be discouraged by headlines like, okay, are you going to buy at the top of the market, and is that a bad thing to do, or are you going to be wasting your money? That's not strategically how you should look at home ownership. The way that you should look at home ownership is, again, and I'm going to say this for the third time, is as a long-term investment. And you know what? There are very, very few experts that can predict. And this really gets under my craw because I see people try to do this all the time. there are very, very few, if any, experts that can predict what happens over the span of 10 to 20 to 30 years. It just doesn't exist. And quite frankly, it makes no sense to try to do something like that anyway. So let me talk even more specifically about what a normal real estate cycle looks like. And we saw this even in the worst of times from 2007 to 2010 in my particular area. And this is usually how it happens. First of all, think about it. A house goes on the market, and when a house goes on the market in general, they take between 30 and 60 days to sell. So there you have 2 months already. The second thing, good morning, Mary. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for coming on and letting me know I'm not the only one here. The first thing that, what did I say? Okay, so that's 2 months. Then you go into an escrow period. Now, the escrow period could take anywhere from 30 to 60 days. In general, most escrows close within about 45 to 50 days. So that's another month. So we're at month number 3. Now, at the close of escrow is when a house's sale price is published. That is to say, recorded at the county recorders, so it's official, and therefore that price has an effect on the immediate neighborhood, which is how real estate works. Real estate is, the pricing of real estate is as a result of the combination of the values of the rest of the houses in your neighborhood. So when the house that you buy is bought and it's officially on record, then the rest of the houses in the area are affected. Now, that takes another month or 2, now we're up to about 4 to 5 months, for the neighborhood to realize. In other words, people hear about it. Other houses are priced now as a result of that sale. So then there's another month or so when the neighborhood actually says, you know what? It turns out I have to sell my house. Okay, so what is it worth now? And they have to pay attention to fair market value. Now, I've talked about fair market value in previous videos, so please go ahead and take a look and see what, if you get a chance to see those videos. And so therefore, we have an official cycle that has happened as a result of the fact that you put your house on the market and the process has now gone through. So look at that situation there. It takes about 6 months, whether the market's going down or whether the market's going up, for everything to be officially sort of on the record, for everything to be affected by the record. And so this sense of, I have to put my house on the market because next month it's going to go down or it's going to go up, just doesn't exist. It takes a good 6 months for a neighborhood to realize the true value and accept it. Realizing it is one thing, accepting it is another. So there's at least 6 months before anything really happens of significance, whether it's an extremely bad market that's going down, or a great market that's going up. So let me at least take a half a year off of taking that stress level down. So that's the one thing that I wanted to stress. There are people that spend a lifetime working on different scales, different formulas, different reasoning based on the past. Very, very few people can tell you exactly what's going to be happening in the future other than realtors during that 6-month period. Most of us as realtors can pretty much predict what's going to happen within reason, and good reason as well, within a 6-month period. After that, it gets to be a little fuzzy. We can probably predict another 6 months in a fuzzy fashion, that is to say, get pretty close. But really, more than a year out, I don't believe anyone can predict exactly what's going to happen. Economists can predict cycles as well, and we have an effect respective of that. But your particular neighborhood, that's a different story, and that's ultimately all you really care about. If an economist wants to predict a particular region, that's fine. But do not use that as a gauge to decide whether you're going to buy or sell. And the reason is that your specific area may be an exception either way. Okay, so we're 14 minutes into this. I promised to keep this under 10 minutes, and so I'm going to keep my word and do that. If you have any questions about what I'm saying today, or again, if you have any questions about real estate in general, please feel free to call Randy or I, or just put it right here on the comments section below. Before I go off the air, I want to again emphasize that we'd love to reach out to you with a very effective app called the Fournier app. We will put a link to it in the comments section right here so you can get a chance to download it. This app is so wonderful because it allows you to take a picture of any house in America. Literally, you're driving by and you take a picture of any house in America, and it will give you the value of that house. It will give you the value of other houses in the areas. If that house is on the market, it'll give you all the information about the house. Whether or not it's on the market or not, you can actually get a market analysis of the neighborhood. You can get the history of the neighborhood, the history of the houses in the neighborhood. It's an incredible, incredible tool. I cannot emphasize enough. And most importantly, if you get a chance and you take a picture of a house and you have further questions, you can actually talk to either Randy or I right on the app. We won't see if you're on the app or using it, but if you connect with us, or you have the ability to connect with us right as you take that picture, we're happy to do so. We'll see your message right on our phone and be happy to answer. Okay, so that does it for me today. Again, we do this every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Please give me some ideas. I'm happy to talk about it on the air. It can be just about anything. And if you're seeing this out of state, I'm happy to address it as well. So we'll see you next time, everyone. Thanks so much. Take care.